G'day, I'm Blxz and welcome back to Geneforge 5. This episode we're going to continue looking around Perikalia. Dinara. Okay, what does she do? This is a large crystal workshop. Crystals carted in from mines are brought here to be weighed, evaluated and polished. Much of this tedious work is done by serviles who sit hunched over at tables around the shop. The serviles don't even look up when you enter. They are completely engrossed in their work. The shopkeeper, a dignified woman with streaks of grey in her hair, leans against the counter and greets you. I know the look of a warrior for hire. I have dealt with many of them in my time. I am Dinara. Welcome to my shop. What sort of crystals do you sell? All of them. Raw materials, polished, unenchanted stones, large crystals infused with power that can help the shapers do their great work. And of course, volatile crystals infused with power can be very useful in a battle. Do you provide a lot of equipment for shapers? I have that honour. Stormhold is my largest customer. I spare no effort to provide them what they need, with the highest quality. In return, as you can see, they provide me with a host of serviles, and I look after them well. How do you look after the serviles? I feed them, give them a purpose, and of course, I strictly guard them and keep them free from rebellious influences. Suddenly, she suddenly slaps the counter with her hand. The serviles jump and look around, terrified. Then they look at her, shudder, and return to work. See? Serviles under complete control. As it should be. Dinara says, "Please take your time, look around. We carry crystals that can be very useful in your line of work. This sort of crystals are always in demand in a time of war." Where do you get your crystals? I buy them from miners. I also own several mines of my own, though operating them is not always a smooth process. That is why I was so pleased to see you. Perhaps I could interest you in some work. It pays well. It only involves a short journey. Tell me more. I have a mine. It is haunted. It is at the southern lower end of the eastern pass, the one defended by Kratoa. She gives you a key. That will help you to gain entry. No, that's one. This will be the one that I needed 5 living tools to get into before. There are shades in the mind, probably attracted by the inherent natural magical energy of the crystals. They are mindless creatures, but dangerous. Destroy them. Okay, I'd like to buy some crystals. No, I don't. That's all. Thank you. I do appreciate the mission, though. Let's have a chat to Mukesh. The blacksmith here is standing behind the counter. Clearly an awkward position for him. He would obviously be more comfortable near the heat of the forge. This smithy seems to be built for smaller, precise, artisanal work. No horseshoes here. The smith looks at your equipment and nods approvingly. You're a warrior, yes? Looking for quality? Not trash, but the best weapons? I am Mukesh. I will aid you as best I can. Let me see your arms and armour. Decent stuff. Nothing magical or spectacular. I have nothing to sell. Doesn't matter. What sort of blades do you sell? The best. Shaped blades. Even pure steel. When I get it. I do not finish those blades here. I only make the base forms or do repairs. What is pure steel? Finest steel. Purified with essence. Even better than shaped blades. I can sharpen it, repair it. But even I cannot work pure steel. Who can? Only workers of pure steel I know are in the Dara Reaches. Even they cannot make it though. You bring it to them and pay, and they work it for you. Okay. What else? More quality blades? Ask and I show. Where do you take your blade? Where do you make your blades? I take pilgrimages to Fort Rockfall. There, they have an anvil. Special anvil. Powerful. Good for working essence infused armour and blades. It's hard to be allowed to use it. I can see in your eye. You might use it. No, I cannot give permission. What is... I already know that. Okay, that's not spectacularly interesting. What was that? Berserker spores. No one can see me, so I will take that. It's at the back here. Just outside. Well, I'm not sure where I'm going to go. Nothing in there. Let's have a look up here. The park. Looks like a little park or something. Nothing spectacular. Oop, nothing at all. Just a little beautiful park. It's a nice touch. What do we got up here? Commander's office. Let's have a chat with the... I've already spoken to the commander. Is there anyone else interesting up here? Nothing useful. Just a guard. Guarding, nothing spectacular. What's on the table? Just a sword. Oh well, there's not very interesting in there. Nope. Yep, nothing in there. Didn't think so. Well, it looks like I have done this area here. Let's go west into fort, wherever it's called, or the castle or something. Stormhold. There we go. I like Fiora. That picture that was just up. They're some of my favourites. They're too weak though, I keep using them unfortunately. You enter Stormhold, the palace and headquarters for the leader of the Storm Plains. It is an odd mix of ancient and Shaper architecture. Most of the buildings were built by the Shapers, but there are frequent traces of something far older. Normally this palace would be quiet and imposing. It's several large buildings surrounded by tranquil grounds. Now, in this time of war, other changes have been made. For example, there is a large army encampment in the entry courtyard. There are lots of soldiers camping here, sitting around campfires on the broad cobblestones. They must be here to protect the general in case of rebel attack. The buildings of the hold are surrounded by high, rough sandstone walls. To the north and south, you can see passages. They must lead into chambers dug out of solid stone. Rightio. I don't know if I can... No, I can't do something that takes 3. Let's have a quick look though. I don't like to normally save and reload much, but I am curious what's in here. And it looks like the prisons. There's a servile chained up in his cell. He looks up at you. You can see that he's completely exhausted. Yeah, I might have to come in here later. I'm not particularly interested in blowing all those, what are they called? Living tools, just for no reason. Just to go and tire out my voice a bit more. So, let's head back up this way. Stormhold soldier. No named people. Is that Greta? Or Agent Grey. Agent Grey. There is an agent sitting here. She is pretty relaxed. She leans back in her chair, her feet up on the table. The jail to the east smells pretty rank. She doesn't seem to notice. I'm Agent Grey, she says. Nice to have company in here, even if it's an outsider. She pats the ring of keys at her belt. I look after the prisoners when I don't have a mission, which is often. Tell me about the prison. Well, sometimes the Shapers... we Shapers aren't usually much for prisons. We tend to deal with miscreants with fines and flogging on the merciful end, and executions otherwise. But when we capture a spy or the like, we need a place to keep them while we wring what we know out of them. This is it. How many do you have now? 3. Won't be that way for long. One's close to the end. Another will likely free soon. The third, well, he needs a lot more breaking. Do you do the interrogating? Sometimes. I handle creations. She shakes her head. I know what you're thinking. No, I don't beat them. Don't even touch them. Nothing so crude. I just use my influence, slowly take their minds away, restore the proper control. Once that's done, they're begging to help us. As for humans, harsher methods are used. We have a pair of outsider thugs for that. Ooh, not my sort of work. Can I see the prisoners? She shakes her head. General Arwen hasn't sent word that I'm to aid you. You don't go on many missions. Not many. General Arwen likes to keep me penned up here. Sometimes, when I'm going crazy, I beg him to send me out to the world. That's the purpose of an agent, after all. She sighs. Then she indulges in a bit of gossip. It'd be different if I was as good as precious Miranda. Miranda? Agent Miranda, his favourite. The one who could do no wrong, with whom none of us could compare. She got killed trying to prevent the Unbound from being created. Same run where Owen was wounded. She sighs. Ah, well, there is something to be said for being in the back lines where it is safe. What do you think of General Owen? He's brilliant. He's the saviour of the Shaper cause. He is like a machine. You feed him wine and energy, and he pumps out military brilliance. Wine? He drinks a fair amount of it. I don't think it even makes him drunk or eases his pain. I think it is just the only earthly pleasure he can enjoy anymore. Okay, so Alwyn has become an alcoholic. Great. That's interesting and might be problematic. I don't know if I can go through here. Okay, it's an alarm, not active. What have we got in here? A canister of dominate, which is not hugely useful to me. I haven't been using it. Although, how strong is my mental magic? It is pretty weak. But if I keep pumping Spellcraft up, so that's now the equivalent of level 6, I believe. I believe that's how Spellcraft works. And that's, I can bless it, the equivalent of level 9. So more expensive, but it bumps up all of them, but it doesn't give you like the prerequisite skill. So if you need, say, level 5 blessing magic for a particular spell, you can't have 4 and 1 Spellcraft. That won't work. So, a bit of both, I think. Which is probably why my battle magic is still reasonably effective. Yeah, I've got effectively 6 levels in it. How much closer to a level up? Not much longer. Nearly there. What am I going to do? Let's have a look down here. Shaper Marzen. Nope, not going to steal anything just yet. Who's that? Sage Pavel. Pavel. You meet one of the mages of Stormhold. Although she's an outsider, she clearly has some influence here. Her robes are made of silk, impeccably tailored. She says, "Greetings to you. I am Sage Pavel. I was informed that we might have a valued outsider as a visitor. Please be sure to ask me if you need any aid. I will give you all assistance the Shapers allow." Can you teach me magic? I will, if General Alwyn sends word that I can. Of course, he's more likely to do that if you made yourself useful to him in some way. What do you do here? I'm well trained as a mage. The Shapers have been very generous in what they allow me to learn. In return, I teach spells to the younger perspectives and help with all laboratory work that does not require manipulation of essence. A Shaper. Sadly, no. I was only a prospective. The trials to become a Shaper are very difficult, and I was not adequate. Still, the Shapers recognised my small talents and allowed me to learn an unusual amount of magic for an outsider. I am very grateful. What is the perspective? The young person who has shown him or herself to have the talent and control to become a Shaper. That person receives much training and testing. Survival is rewarded with Shaperdom. Okay, well, you survived. How come you're not a Shaper? You will help me as much as allowed. Of course, my main purpose here is to teach magic. It is illegal to learn any magic, even a single spell, without specific permission from the Shapers. Excuse me. And I'm back, had to cough. This is only just and reasonable, of course. Controlling who holds power is one of the cornerstones of the Shaper philosophy. One must only look at our ruined lands to see the wisdom of it. She has a good point there. I am pleased to say that I've gained so much trust from the Shapers that I can advise them about what outsiders should gain power. And this is thought to be just. By loyal people, yes. Traitors and rebels, of course, always have excuses for why they should be able to lack self-control. Why have you been given so much power? Combination of my skill and my loyalty, and of course the limitless generosity of the Shapers. You evaluate your fellow Shapers. I do. The Shapers trust me, and they understand that sometimes they don't understand outsiders as well as they might. I have a better insight into the outsider mind. This reminds me, I've heard that you might be going to the line. If you pass through the mountain forts, I need a message delivered. An outsider petition for more training. If you're going there anyway. Could you deliver it for me? Of course I can help you. Excellent. The message is for Cyprian. She's a battle mage in Fort Vengeance, the middle fort in the line. She hands you a scroll sealed with wax. She is temperamental, easy to anger. I would simply deliver the scroll and leave quickly. That's all for now, I think. So, where'd he go? There he is. Blends in a bit. Shaper Marzen. To be a Shaper is a great mental burden. For most people, simply getting through their own lives day to day is a struggle. This Shaper must not only guide himself, but all of the living creatures he controls. After years of war, he seems to be slightly bending under the pressure. He walks among the massive crystals, guiding and advising the younger Shapers. He occasionally stands at a crystal and sends commands to his own forces. He's not so distracted, however, that he can't take time to deal with an outsider in his domain. You there, stop. Let me see you. He walks up, leans close, and looks at your face. Ah, yes, you are allowed. To be here, I mean. I am Shaper Marzen. General Arwen told me to aid you. I can do that. Briefly. What are you doing here? We are controlling creations in the lands around Perikalia, keeping them secure. How far away can you control them? The range depends on focus. The focus of the Shaper. I can reach 50 miles, with great effort. When a creation goes too far, it gets worried. It might start to wander. It usually returns home. Sometimes it goes rogue. Be careful not to let them wander too far. Where are the creations made? Here and here they return, for feeding, and so we can tend to their wounds. Is it difficult to control them from far away? Yes, takes great training, focus, but very powerful. We're in no danger here. We send the creations. If they die, we make more. This makes Shapers very difficult to defeat. Another question. How many can you control? He doesn't pause a moment before responding. 40. There was another, but it had to be absorbed last week. It was too wounded. How do you control so many? I cannot control each directly all the time, of course. The little attention I pay carries great influence. Leaves them calm, directed, unable to go rogue. Doing this takes many years of training, which you have not had, I think. But when well trained, each Shaper is an army. Can you teach me about shaping? I will, if General Arwen sends word that I can. Of course, yes, same as the other person. Well, it looks like I have to go see Arwen. I'll have a look at this book up here. Ooh, who's that? It's the same lady. Don't expect the book to tell me anything. You flip through this lab journal. Alert, as always, for helpful information. You're not disappointed. Among all the gibberish, a hastily scrawled note in a border is very intriguing. Gemstones need not only be used for wands. Treat the stone with the proper creation body part on an enchanted anvil, and the latent magic within the offal can infuse the stone. Okay, so you just make a regular stone. Pantries full of closely spaced shelves, each of which completely packed with bottles and jars, and you have no idea what it is. There must be a mission of some sort there. Okay. There are 3 shapers here, each of them staring into a tall, polished obelisk of purple. Are they red, those things? Staring at the stone, you can see faint, fuzzy shapes. They're creations, patrolling in the woods to the east. These shapers are completely lost in thought, directing their charges through the wild. You note that one of the crystals has shattered recently. Serviles have not yet cleared away the debris. These powerful stones must not be entirely stable. Doesn't matter, I can sell that for money. Okay. Well, it looks like I need to go find General Alwyn. But I think I'm going to keep exploring around this village, town, whatever. Or castle, actually it's a storm castle, isn't it? It's a big castle. But I think coming, there we go. Anyway, I'm going to call this episode here. I'm going to continue next time, and we'll keep exploring the rest of this villagey town castle thing. So I've been Blxz. This has been Geneforge 5. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're interested. And as always, I'll see you next time. Take care.